So how do you create cash flow income? What's the real secret here? How do you really make it work? Because most people, they're not teaching you how to create cash flow income. They're teaching you how to build up your assets, create bigger net worth. Net worth is worthless unless you create cash flow. Cash flow creates more options in your life, and options gives you more freedom. So let's dive in what that really means. All right, so let's talk about cash flow, right? Like when I talk about cash flow, it might be different for you. Some people think of cash flow as literally income coming in. I look at cash flow as this. Cash flow is where you have your income and you have your expenses. Now, when your income is higher than your expenses, the difference between your income and expenses is cash flow. If income is higher than expenses, you have positive cash flow. If all of a sudden your expenses are higher than your income, which sucks, then you have negative cash flow. In business, right here, when you have more income than expenses, it's called profit. And the other side is called loss. Yay, boo. I like cash flow, right? And I like it because the cash flow really is what creates freedom. When you have more money coming in every month than what you need, there's more freedom behind it. Now, you might be looking at cash flow thinking of like passive income or something like that. And who knows, maybe there's, you might have realized like I did that, try to even put passive income in a title of things. And then Google wants to bosh it because they're so freaking sick and tired of people sending you videos about passive income that aren't even passive at all, saying, hey, check out this, do this online business. But yeah, you're gonna have to work your tail off. Oh, and you'll probably lose all your money doing it, but it's passive. Or hey, you can do this real estate business, but you'll create a full-time or overtime business doing it, but it's passive because it's considered real estate. No, that's BS. Like passive means it's passive. Like you don't have to do the work. Your money does the talking and the walking, right? Not you having to do all the walking with the talking. I don't even know if I even got that right, but that's what I'm saying here, right? Is that you need to make sure that it's actually coming in. And so passive income is great. Some people talk about cash flow being passive income is synonymous. I know Robert Kiyosaki talks about it too, but ultimately I look at it as how do I have more money coming in than what's going out? Ideally, how do my investments come and pay for my bills? How do they make sure they pay for my lifestyle? That I have more than enough money coming in from my investments that I don't have to work. I'm work optional where I work because I want to, not because I have to. So how do you do it? Now, going beyond what everybody else is trying to tell you to do, like, oh, start a new business, go do this, do that. I don't think that's the case. The easiest way to start what I refer to as passive income, right? The best way to do that to create more cash flow with passive income is to have money. It sounds overly simple because it is. I get the question all the time, often from you guys too, which is great. I love the questions, keep them coming. But I get the question all the time. They say, all right, like how much money do I need to invest, right? Well, you don't need much, at least depending on what you're trying to do. Now, if you're just trying to create more income in general, if you have some time extra, great, maybe you do create that side business. Maybe you do some other things that generate some additional streams of income so you can build up more income to then invest in passive things. That's fine. Now, I know many of the people I talk to, they're like, I'm working enough, right? I'm spending enough time away from my family as is. I want more time back. I want that time freedom, not just cash flow. I want the time that the cash flow buys me back. Okay, great. Well, then you need your money to work for you instead. So either you work for the money or your money works for the money. And if you have 10,000 bucks, that's not enough, right? Now, granted, if you throw in some of your own extra efforts in there, that's why people that talk about wholesaling. I got a friend, Ryan Pineda. Some of you guys might follow his channel too. Ryan Pineda does wholesaling. He says, hey, you got 10,000 bucks, put it there. Because yeah, you start a business and you can do some transactions and make good, quick money. He's correct. But it still requires your time and energy plus that money that you're putting in. It's just like college, right? You not only have to put in the money, you got to put in the time and the energy to hopefully get a return. And even that's debatable. So if you want fully passive income, it requires more money. I recommend into the six figures. I tell people, most of you, 150,000 minimum. Why 150,000? Why did I pick that number? Well, because I just like to pick random numbers. No, of course there's a reason. The reason I picked 150,000 is this, is that if you were to try to diversify your money in different places, because here's the problem I see in real life. If someone has 50,000 bucks, they say, I got just enough money to do one deal. And here's what happens. They white knuckle the whole way. One, they're scared to go in, and then they white knuckle the whole thing. They're like, oh, I hope this works out because if this goes under, I'm toast. This is all my money, and it's going to this one deal. Even if it's in real estate, the thing is that you're so scared the whole time, it's never fun. It's never enjoyable. Even if you get passive income, you're always wondering when the shoe's going to drop, right? And so it's not a fun way to live. And yeah, you might be the opposite person. Maybe you're living this total bliss of naivete, right? I don't know if that's how you say it. Naivete. you're just naive about it, right? It's just like, well, I just hope it all works out. Woohoo! You know, that's all that happens. And you're hoping that it still works out, but you're still not sure, right? And if it doesn't go well, you lost your money. And by the way, most people I know that have less money, they usually go for the first thing that gets thrown to them or something that sounds really good. And this is part of the problem, is that you get this gambler mentality thinking that high risk creates high returns, which is a bunch of BS. High risk, higher chance of losing does not equal a higher chance of winning. Think about that. It doesn't. So don't think that works with investing. And so I'll see people throw their money and think that is high risk. They are literally gambling their money because they think that investing equals gambling, and that's not the case. True investors take as low risk as possible. They try to manage their risk to as close to zero as possible so that they get a return on their money. That's how real investors invest. So in the meantime, instead of just trying to throw your money at something really quick while you're trying to build up your cash, learn. This is why we have like the Wealth Accelerator Academy we offer on our moneyripples.com site, right? Because we want people to learn. This is why we have these YouTube videos. This is why we have podcasts on the same channel. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Because we're doing that because we want you to gain that experience and get a level head before you invest. Now, I don't agree you should be like constantly be watching this channel for like years and years and do nothing, especially if you've got the money to do something with. But you got to make sure you're building up that education while you're building up your cash. That will ensure that you don't lose all your money and then have to start back from zero, because how much would that suck if you lost all your money and you have to start from zero again? I'll tell you this, it's way harder to go from zero to $100,000 than it is to go from $100,000 to $1 million. Way easier to go from $100,000 to $1 million than zero to $100,000. So if you've got less than $150,000, don't even worry about passive investments. Just focus on trying to keep your cash, build up in a savings account. Heck, use infinite banking like we talk about so much on this channel. Plenty of videos on that. Use infinite banking to help build up your cash and even get tax-free returns. Now, once you get over $150,000, now you can do different deals. Now you can probably do like 2, 3, 4 different types of investments, put your money into, and now you're not as worried, you're not as stressed, and you can start making better returns, and it lessens your risk too. So that's the best way to do it. So really, I think the best way, not just the only way to create cash flow, but if you want to create passive income, using alternative investments, specifically those backed by real estate. I don't believe in crypto as being passive because it's not. And it's too volatile, right? It's just like the stock market, it's too volatile. You can't count on it. You need something you can count on to create cash flow. If you're gonna invest in anything, especially if you're not doing passive investments, invest in business, primarily your business. Do something where you can have some control over it and make more money. Just like I told my buddy, which he might be watching this video right now, so shout out to you, you know who you are. He's like, hey, I'm just getting started in business, I wanna get it going. Great, you invest in that business, you get your money and time invest in that, your energy, you blow that sucker up and make a lot of money, but then take your profits from that business and instead of just gambling in the markets, instead put it into these passive investments we talk about on this channel all the time. If you wanna know what those passive investments are, be sure to subscribe to this channel and keep watching.